All right, that leaves us, Anthony, and this is the moment we've all been waiting for, right? The Miami Dolphins are on the clock. Number of options we can go with here. Another team. You know, bunch of bunch of needs for the Dolphins.
Wait,
Um,
really quick, are we allowed to chime in because we're Dolphins fans, or are we sitting back and just watching you guys pick the best
After we
prospect?
give you who our recommendation is,
Okay,
then you can
perfect.
chime in. Yeah.
yeah.
Perfect.
So what? I think you said it in the private chat here, Anthony. It's not shaking. This draft is not shaken out well for the Dolphins. The top three offensive linemen are off the board here.
I
So
disagree. I think this is a
Membu,
great draft.
Will Campbell, Kelvin Banks gone. Um,
I have just so many thoughts on this because just the way the draft has fallen, and
yeah,
as the draft process has gone on, and my personal preferences have changed towards. So first thing, Tyler Warren. I put it to you guys in the chat in our text chain earlier. What do the Dolphins do if Tyler Warren falls to us at? We have Jonnu Smith. We don't have a world-beating tight end. He had record-breaking season last year. He was very good, but he's over 30, and he doesn't have the talent of Tyler Warren. Like, I wonder where he is on their board. Just genuinely
yeah,
wonder, like, is he a top 10 pick on their board? Because you got to imagine if a top 10 pick falls to you at 13 and you're playing best player available, that he's in the conversation there.
yeah. I love Tyler Warren, and I've gone on record in saying that, and I'm softening on whether or not I would take Tyler Warren here. Originally, I said no. Originally, I said offensive line, offensive line, offensive line. But then I listened to Dudley Do Wrong a couple weeks ago, and he came out and said that the Dolphins don't take offensive guards with their first pick. I never actually put two and two together on that until he said that out loud.
Yep.
And he's right. They don't. So maybe offensive guards out here. Maybe they go with a more premier position. I don't know the tight end is the premier position he was thinking about. But you've got Matthew Golden on the board here, Michael Williams. I don't know if they go edge. I think they're somewhat set at edge. So do they go cornerback? Jade Barron, with Will Johnson off the board. Do they go Jahad Campbell, Malachi Starks, who's still on the board? Tyler Booker, we've already said no. Personally, if the board shakes out like this, I might go for Tyler Warren.
Cool. So that's interesting because I think Taylor brought this up in our first mock draft that we ever did on the channel. Tyler Warren there at 13, and we all kind of were a little thrown back by that. But now, as we're getting closer, it's like it could potentially happen. Then what do we do there? I wouldn't be mad about that pick. I really wouldn't. But my thoughts have changed a little on this pick here. So Josh Simmons and Tyler Booker are both guys I think we would love to have on the team. But to Douglas' point, we don't take guards in the first round if they see Josh Simmons as a guard. If they see him as a tackle, maybe that is the route they go. I think something telling me that this pick for the Miami Dolphins is between Jahdae Barron and Malachi Starks. I think that the back end of our defense is in shambles right now. Our second starting corner is that kid last year that with the cool name who I'm blanking on.
Storm Duck.
Storm Duck. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's our corner 2 right now. I like Storm Duck, but he's not a second corner. Let's slow the train down. And then at safety, we did pick up a pair of guys who could play. They have played, but Ashton Davis mostly played special teams, and Melifonwu, while he has a ton of talent, is always injured. So when I look at the two positions and I look at the depth, I think corner is a huge cliff after Jahdae Barron. And I know that you guys mentioned the other kid out of East Carolina or whatever.
Revel. Yeah.
Who Taylor actually has ranked above Barron in his rankings.
Which is insane. That's fine.
So I would love Tyler Warren here if it's the pick, but if I'm literally trying to play Chris Greer, and shout out to that fan months ago who said that if Will Campbell was there at 13, he would be the pick. I don't remember who you were, but seriously, you know this team better than anybody, maybe. I seriously think the pick is going to be Barron or Starks, and I'd probably lean Barron because the corner position just is like a huge drop off of talent after these top two guys.
All right. This is the part where Josh and Taylor chime in.
All right, yeah. So Taylor, I'll let you round out the conversation if you don't mind.
Okay.
Having Tyler Warren on the board is a very intriguing option. Salivating at his potential, right? Jade, I think I agree with everything Anthony said. I think the cornerback position currently on this roster is terrifying to me. Outside of Ramsey, I like Cater, who's a slot cornerback. Cool. He has some ups, he has some downs. Last year was a down year. Sure. After those two, who do we have? No one.
Nick
Not
Needham, baby.
Not a single person that I feel is a genuine, not even a difference maker at the position, but a genuine player in the NFL, right? I mean, sure, Storm Duck, he's young, he's undrafted. Okay, cool. And the other position that really worries me is safety, right? So I love the Jihad. I was really on Jihad Campbell for a long time. I really pairing him next to in our linebacker room next to Brooks is very similar to the Tyler Warren pick, right? But Barron for me has been the pick. I mocked him to the Dolphins when I was the Phins. I've liked him ever since. I think he's the Swiss Army knife cornerback, right? He can play the X, he can play the slot. You can put him at, you can put him at safety. You can bring him down. He plays everything, right? But he would be our number 2 wide receiver immediately, or cornerback immediately, in my opinion.
Taylor, what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, the way this board broke, it's something to where you guys are right talking about the offensive line. It's not something that really fits what the Dolphins do. You look at the holes on the team, and it tells you, oh, man, we really need interior defensive line. But you look at who's left, and you're sitting there with Darren Harmon from Oregon, who I like, but at 13, I'm not too sure. TJ Sanders, Walter Nolan, those kind of names. So then I go exactly where you guys went, corner, which is another big position I need. Malachi Starks, I think, is the safe, like, in case of emergency, let's just go with Malachi Starks, But you look at corner, the one reservation I have about Barron, I think he's a fantastic player, but I kind of think he's more of a nickel corner. And when you look at, where we put Ramsey, and then we also have Cater Kohu, I'm not sure that Barron is going to be used to his strengths in year one, at least. So whereas somebody like Siobhan Revel, who is coming off a torn ACL.
Well, that's a Chris Greer pick.
A beast. I know, but just an absolute beast on the outside. A willing tackler. And no matter what happens at 13, I really have no preference on who you guys end up selecting. But no matter what, I just hope it is somebody who brings a little attitude to the locker room. Whether that be a Tyler Warren, Siobhan Revel, you name it.
You know what's going to happen is that this year we're going to go nuts trying to figure out who it is. And it's going to be the guy that everybody's been mocking to us since day one, Malachi Starks.
Yeah.
And then we're all going to be like, man, we just did all this work and all this guesswork, and it was just the guy that everybody thought it was the whole time. I do want to say, sorry, Keith, to this point here, yeah, man, but not if your corner is as bad as Storm Duck. Like, there's a talent drop off there. It's not true for all. We can't take we can't have a top 3 defensive line and take guys from the UFL and put them at corner and still be fine.
If Kenneth Grant was here, that probably would have been my pick, if I'm being honest, or my choice.
Yes.
Player.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. I think if the board shakes out like this and a team like potentially the Pittsburgh Steelers is calling us to say, hey, we want Jackson Dart, we are listening. We're listening hard. This is a trade back. This is a position where I would potentially be trying to trade back, get some more picks. But if we're staying put, I'm good with Jahdae Barron here, Anthony.
Yeah, one last thing to that point, especially if they like Siobhan Ravel from the corner at
Yeah.
East Carolina, or if they like Walter Nolan, defensive tackle at Ole Miss. I mean, that's a perfect way to trade back, and one of those guys is almost guaranteed to be there at 21.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm okay with Barron here. If we stick at 13 and the board falls this way, I would say Barron is.
All right, so I guess, and I'm not super enthusiastic about this either. I wanted a guard, you guys know that, but with the 13th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, Miami Dolphins select Jahdae Barron, cornerback out of Texas.
You got to talk to Greer about the guard thing, man. Got to get on the phone, have a conversation.
Hey, I'll beat his ear about it.
Yeah, before we jump to them, I know there's a lot of Dolphins conversation going on in the chat here because obviously it's a Dolphins podcast and we have Dolphins fans in the chat, so I would like to just address some of those real quick. So Hammer is on par with us trading back.
For sure.
Nate Mandu, not so much so. I like to see the back and forth there. He says, we need a premium pick in the first, and trading back doesn't guarantee that. So that's a good point of view there. Also, we talked with Dougley about this here. Greer's tendencies line up with our needs, but he likes skill positions over the trenches, which we've seen time and time again. Unfortunately,
sad but true.
Yeah. So Gray Zabel, which we all love in the second round.
Yeah. So he will not be there for us.
He won't be there.
Yes. I think Gray Zabel might be a first rounder.
Looks like
it. He's certainly trending in that direction.